This isn't just a podcast. It's a reminder of what makes America stronger isn't a headline or a hashtag.
It's people, from the ones building our homes to the ones rebuilding their lives.
Veterans, tradesmen, neighbors, and volunteers. Real people doing real things.
Here we find common ground first, and then we work on our differences.
This is the Collective Perspective Podcast,
where purpose, people, and progress meet.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Collective Perspective Podcast, and today we're talking about it's not always just black versus white.
Now, what did you think about when you first heard the name of this title?
I bet you some of you assumed race, some of you assumed politics, and others may have thought they're just talking about left versus right again. And the interesting thing is that many of us filled out the blanks before they even heard any of this conversation, didn't you?
And that's exactly what we're discussing today.
Life is full of situations where you assume there is only two choices, two sides, and two explanations. But in reality, it's more complicated than that. You know, for example, you're only allowed two sides for your dinner, but you could choose another side if you wanted to.
Living dangerously.
No, man. So, hey, since you've already made it this far into the episode, I would encourage you just to watch the rest of it so you're not left out or stuck in a gray area.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, thanks. First, what I want to ask you is, when you hear the phrase black and white thinking, what comes to mind?
For me, black and white thinking is right or wrong, or either or, one of the extremes. It's nothing. It's cut and dry. There is no in between black and white.
Well, and you only gave me two choices, black or white. So what about all the other colors, all the other, black and white? What about the gray area? I would say that most of our situations are gray area situations.
I think we largely live in the gray area without really putting much thought into it.
And guess where all the details are at? In the gray area.
The nuances.
Yeah. Have you ever made any assumptions about a person or situation and later discovered there was such a different story, or there was more to that story?
I think it happens all the time. I know, for me it does. Just watching TV characters or sports figures, you build maybe an idea of what they are based on short little snippets, little stories that don't really paint them in the greatest light. So you're like, oh, they're a bad person. But in actuality, the more you get to see them, the more you understand them and see where their gray area is.
And a lot of it, too, is just to get your attention. They used some type of propaganda technique. I'll admit, we did, too, just now, but we're not going to tell you which one.
Figure that one out.
You can figure it out yourself.
You guys are smart enough for that. So what does it mean when someone says it's not always just black and white?
I think you said a lot of it already, is that there's always different sides to the story, different perspectives. I mean, who knows? Maybe a body cam was involved, and one thing was said, and another thing was said, and the body cam just doesn't match up to those things.
The truth in that case doesn't pick a side; it is the side.
Or it doesn't have to be just a body cam. By the way, it could be a microphone. What you say is what you say.
Or a bystander.
I don't know.
Would
if
that be
made
something?
Sense. A bystander.
Oh, a bystander, their memory could be wrong, so you need more than one to corroborate any story, right?
Yeah. Why do people naturally prefer simple answers over complicated ones?
Time, energy, effort. I think all three. People don't want to spend the time or energy. It
stresses me out. It gives me anxiety.
Yeah, to think, be stuck in your own head. We're so used to having devices in our hands and being entertained or something going on all the time. We don't feel that we have the time to really look into what's going on. So you miss the gray area.
It's like the couple that puts their Facebook picture on Facebook, and they're having a great time, but they didn't tell you the struggles they had to get there, and the amount of money it took, and all the gray area stuff. I feel like we're sticking to the gray area here, right? I think it's not just black or white. There's gray too. Maybe even red.
Stop there for a second.
Oh, wait, we're talking about hats. That's a different topic.
No, I think though the gray area needs to be explored because we do live in it, and we come to decisions about situations, people, through the information that we get. And if you're listening to the black or the white side, the right or the wrong side, it doesn't matter which way how you want to look at it. You're missing the variables that actually ended up being getting you to the conclusion. What are some examples of people picking an immediate side before understanding the whole situation?
I think that's quite simple. If you look at these different categories of situations or people, so the relationship you're in, your wife, for example, has some trouble with a coworker. Are you going to pick the coworker side? Or are you going to pick your wife's side? I think you automatically are in your wife's corner, right?
Yeah, I
At
think
least you should be.
the family friends are going to be the closest ones. You're going to want to back them up.
Unless you are that coworker. Then you got a problem. Different topic, different episode. We'll do that one next. Social media controversies too.
Ooh.
Is probably the second biggest, I would say.
And that one, I think people tend to pick the side that looks like it's winning, especially in social media, because you don't really you don't get the sarcasm, the nuance, or whatever's going on. You're gonna look and say, "Oh, this person's getting really beat up. Well, why? They must be wrong. So let's side with everyone else."
Well, let's face it too. People go on social media, and once they see something that's opposing to their view or their, I hate to say it, political parties or culture, then they automatically choose a side without even looking at it. They just, and they mouth off. That's this thing called gentleness.
Yeah, you got to be easy sometimes.
Yeah. Step back. You don't always make the right decisions when you're emotional, and we've talked about that before.
We're beating a dead horse on that one.
Another two are family disagreements and news stories. I think a lot of the news media is one-sided or the other, and therefore, if you're not paying attention to both sides, and you only listen to one side, and then every time a situation comes up, you're only going to choose that side.
Yeah, I think especially with news, it's very biased. You're only going to get led or shown the emotional parts that solidify the news's position on the subject, and without really making your own decision or having all the information to make the best informed decision.
So what are the dangers to reducing every issue to two sides?
Oh, you miss out on why. What were we saying earlier? When it's just two sides, you miss out on the nuance, the circumstances that led to the decision that was made, or the situation.
Well, I would say the danger too is that you're not with me, you're against me, you're my enemy. You automatically say, "Hey, if you don't disagree with me, you're my enemy." And I would say that if you did that with your wife, or people that you're in a close relationship with, or that you work with on a daily basis, you're not going to be in that relationship for too long.
Right. Or if sometimes someone's wrong, then they're always wrong.
Yeah, once a hoe, always a hoe. Let's be real. Should I keep that?
Up to you, man.
I don't know. Can two seemingly opposite things be true at the same time?
I think
this is a trick question.
A trick question.
Well, it is, because most people aren't going to look into it deep enough to see these answers. But we'll give them to you. Don't worry.
What's that? Like accountability and grace?
You can have accountability and grace at the same time. Imagine that. How about confidence and humility?
I think they go hand in hand. In fact, that's when confidence and humility, desired traits in a great leader.
What is this? Some other ones, Trav?
Freedom and responsibility.
Wow. You mean to tell me that your child can be free to go do whatever he wants after he's 18? Go work at Publix, go out and be with his friends, and he has responsibility too? Get out of here.
Oh, come on. It's not that hard.
This is getting too complex. You might as well stop listening to the episode now. Strength or another one is strength and compassion.
Again, all of those are traits of a great leader. Someone who knows how to work not just in the black and white, but work in the gray and be multiple things at the same time.
How do you think people can actually slow down and consider perspectives they may not agree with, Trev?
I think it takes a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness to understand that they need to slow down before they make that decision. And that's not always easy because of high emotional states based on whatever the information or situation is. Slowing down is not always easy to do because of the time constraints we place on ourselves.
I think if you're truly teachable, then you have the best ability, more of the ability to slow down and consider other perspectives. And, again, if we're talking about leadership, slowing down as a leader and listening to your team's perspectives will make you a stronger team, even if you're the leader that didn't come up with those perspectives or those issues or solutions.
But being that leader, you also you're able to get more buy-in from everybody else when you're able to show that you're listening to the team and getting their opinions before you make the final decision.
Thanks, Trev. Hey, and now we're going to go into the fast round. We're going to start out is certainty overrated? I think it is.
Is certainty overrated? I certainly do.
I certainly do not. Can someone be wrong or still have a point? I hate to say it, but
can they be wrong and still have a point? Or can they be wrong or have a point?
Well, I think you can be wrong and still have a point that is somewhat correct. But also your wrong perspective is considered a point. Whether it's the right one or not, I don't know. That really depends on the situation, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But I would bet on no. Can someone be right for the wrong reasons?
Ooh, that goes into the gray area. What are those reasons? Is it an illness in the family? Were you just down on your luck? What are the underlying factors that...
I don't know, man. If somebody messed with my kid, I would be right for the wrong reasons. No, I'd be
wrong for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
And that's
Don't
why
mess with my kids.
And that's why we have a jury by your peers.
Is disagreement healthy?
Absolutely.
What?
Yes.
What?
No, because we're not all robots. We don't all think the same. We can disagree, but we still come together at the end of the day and shake each other's hand or have a drink. Sit down and break bread, have a meal with people you disagree with, because we're not all that different, but we don't all think the same. So, hey, we're going to leave you with this. The world often pressures us to pick a side immediately.
But wisdom always doesn't come that quick or by reacting quickly. Sometimes wisdom comes from asking more questions, seeking one more perspective, and resisting the urge to reduce the complicated issue into a simple answer.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Collective Perspective Podcast.
Remember, not every issue only has two sides, not every disagreement has a villain, and not every answer can fit into a simple little tiny little box.
Sometimes the answer is in the gray area.
I'd say a lot of times it is. Peace out.